As Russia is a wild beast, it is impossible to negotiate with it. It is easier and cheaper to help Ukraine now than defeat the wild beast, and defeat the wild beast now than to fight it alone after losing an arm, namely Ukraine. Russia must be isolated until it changes. The animal must sit in a cage. The question is, what's with the Russian bloody fossil fuel exports? Russia's war against Ukraine has caused extensive climate damage to the world. Billions of liters of fuel burned by military vehicles, vast fields and forests set afire, thousands of small and big oil gas storage containers blown up, mountains of steel and cement used to fortify the front lines, destroyed cities and energy infrastructure, huge extra resources spent on reconstruction. The total climate damage caused by the Russian Federation in 2 years of full-scale invasion of Ukraine amounts to more than 35 billion United States dollars. 35 billion United States dollars. This data comes from the Initiative on Greenhouse Gas Accounting of War. Russian invasion has already led to the emission of more than 200 million tons of carbon dioxide. This exceeds the annual emission of such huge countries as Argentina, as Pakistan, as annual emissions of the whole Ukraine itself. And this is only at the beginning. That's only up until today. What damage will be done by Russia if it continues the war? Great damage to the climate. Russia is accountable for the huge climate damage, emissions, and the resulting damage to the global climate due to the war. Without its act of aggression, the greenhouse gas emissions would not have been happened. And despite that damage to the climate, the bitter truth is that Russia continues to finance the war by the global and causing the global damage to the world by extraction the oil and gas and fossil fuels exports to China, India, Turkey, European Union and Brazil. So these 5 countries, China, India, Turkey, European Union and Brazil, is the top 5 buyers of bloody Russian fossil fuels. In the June of this year, Russia's monthly fossil fuel export revenue were 656 million euros per day. 656 million euros per day Russia got every day for the fossil fuel export. The 5 largest Russian fossil fuel importing countries in the European Union paid to Russia 1.8 billion euros this June. Countries from the European Union paid to Russia for 234 million euro for the pipeline and liquefied natural gas only for the month. China paid to the Russia more than 6 billion euro for the same 1 month, mainly for the crude oil. That kind of money allows Russia to finance the full-scale invasion of Ukraine very well. Due to the sanctions exemptions, member states of European Union can continue buying Russian gas and pipeline oil. This is a great shame for European Union. As Russian sanctions hit hard, Russia is working overtime to keep its Arctic liquefied natural gas exports going, relying on ship-to-ship transfers. So Russia right now is exporting liquefied natural gas year-round from the Arctic. Despite the sanctions, Russian shadow tankers are still operating. There should be sanctions applied on all entities, crew members and possible buyers of sanctioned liquefied natural gas from Russia. Swedish Greenpeace issued a call for the Swedish government to stop the same shadow oil transfer happening in the Baltic Sea right now. Every day, Russian shadow fleet passes through the Baltic Sea. Rusty tankers carrying huge amounts of Russian oil that help finance Putin's bloody war in Ukraine. These worn-out old oil tankers pose a huge environmental hazard in our waters, in the waters of Sweden. It's only a matter of time before an accident might happen. We now demand that the Swedish government act in his urgent situation, and immediately stop allowing these ships to refuel off the coast of Sweden. This is so-called shadow fleet of Russia has arisen to circumvent the sanctions against Russian oil exports. It consists of several hundred oil tankers with many expired best before dates, hidden owners, and questionable or no insurance at all